Hello friends, my name is Manoj Kumar from Corpity. In today's video, we'll talk about the cheat sheet that I created for the Linux in recent time. So you have to go to this link. I will mention this link in the description. That will be easy for you. So we added one SVG format file. This is a PNG file that you can use. It is like super high resolution, so it will be easy for you. And the folks that are more toward the PDF, I also created a PDF download link, so you can download from there. And the great thing is that you need not to give me your email address. Okay, so the file will look something like that. Okay, so now we'll start with the basic Linux command, how we can do that and how we can use this Linux cheat sheet to the fullest. Okay, so in order to do that, first of all, let me tell you about my current setup. So what I'm doing, I'm just running a Ubuntu instance in VirtualBox. Okay. So first of all, let's find out the IP of that. So for that, we'll show and we'll see. Okay, we'll hit capture, and if we type command ipconfig, vif sorry, ipconfig is for the Windows users. So if you find here, we have our IP, that is 192.168.0.104. Now let's see how we can access it into this machine. So let's jump out of this machine, open the window terminal, and let's type ssh, then the username, that is vagrant at the rate 192.168.0.104. Okay, hit enter. It will ask for the password. Now enter that vagrant, and boom, we are into the machine. Let me just close these things off so that it will be easy to interact. Now, once you log in, there are few system information that you can see in the top line bar. You can say that the system load, the usage of the swap memory, the memory swap usage, processor, how many user login. So these basic information you can get from there. So once you do that, let's clear the screen. So what we learn? We learn about the SSH. Now, once you into the Ubuntu, you need, or any Linux distribution, you need to understand in which directory you are. For that, you will enter a command pwd. It will return your current working directory. Okay. Now let's create a directory with the help of sudo mkdir, and the name of the directory will be corpity. Okay. Now how we can verify it, whether the corpity directory is created or not. For that, we'll hit a command ll, that means longest. So if you can see here, our corpity directory is already created. Now let's jump into the corpity directory. How we can do that? We'll enter cd and then co, and we'll hit the tab button. So what tab will do? Tab will help you in the auto filling of any command, or it will help in guessing any command. So the tab is really helpful. It will save a lot of time in typing. Okay, so so now we are into the core party. So how we can verify whether we are into the core 5 folder or not? So as we previously discussed about the command pwd, that will return the current working status. So as we can see here, previously we are at home/vagrant, but now we are at home vagrant core party. Okay, so that's how we fetch it. So now we are into the corpity directory. Now let's create a file. Okay, so how we can create a file? So first we'll go from a first method. Later on this video we'll see other methods. So we'll touch is a command, but we need the admin privilege. Then we type sudo touch manoj.txt. Okay, the file is created. How we can verify? Long list. So as you can see here, the manoj.txt file is created. Now let's see if we can write something on this file. So how we can do that? So in Ubuntu there is an editor that name is nano. So in order to open any file, we need to enter sudo nano and the extension, or the file name, that is manoj, and here you are. Let's type something. we are here to learn about Linux. Okay, Control X, then it will ask me whether you need to save it or not. We'll press yes, and it will showing us if you want to change the file name or not, but I already named it, so I need not to change. We'll hit enter. Okay, wrote one line. Let's see whether something is written on that file or not. For that, we'll type command cat, then file name is manoj.txt, and yes, we are here to learn about Linux. How cool is that? Now let go one side up, like into the previous directory. How we can do that? Cd dot dot, and how we can verify that? pwd home method. And also from this thing you will find it the tilde is the current home user directory. Okay, so use that. If we like if we again go to this corp IT, it will change it. Now it is changed as the corp IT. Okay, so that is the difference. Like from that you can identify where you are currently working. Okay, now we again come back to here. We'll type the long list. We'll see if we have the corp IT. Okay, now let's come into the sheet and we'll start from the hardware information. Okay, so NeoFetch is a application that you need to download it. Okay, uh, but let's not waste our time, and we'll let meanwhile check out the command that is lsblk. So it will list out all the drive in your system. So in my current system I am having one drive that is showing here. Now other command is sudo ls hw. It will show all the hardware component. So it is just finding out the information. Just hold for some time. Yeah, so this is our volume information, this is our drive information. What else we have? We have the Wi-Fi card information, or the adapter information. Then what else we have? We have the system peripherals information, the processor information. What else we have? The graphical information, the bridge information that we are using, the bridge in order to connect with the machine. And what else we have? The motherboard information. Like I seriously, I did not think we have this much of information, but yeah, we have this much of information. So that's how we can use it. And let's see about the file compression, how we can use the tarball in order to archive any file. So if we do ll, we find that we have this. So let's create something or create a tarball file. So how we can do that? We'll type sudo tar hyphen c z, and then the which, like the file name should be, let's suppose, corp it.zip, and the folder name should be corp it. Let's see whether it's working or not. Yes, it's working. Now we have a file with corp it, and this is the folder. So yeah, that's how you can do that. Meanwhile I delete it, then rm-rf. Let me add sudo, otherwise it won't work, and then corp. Okay, sorry, I deleted the folder, but I want to delete the. Okay, so in like Windows there is no control set, so you need, if you are doing something, you need to be very cautious what are you doing. Okay, now let's see few command in the user group. So if you want to find out what is the current user, you can also see it from here. As the current user is background, you can also see it from here. But if you want to go for a command line way, and who will also work, so it will list down all the users that you have, and others is who am I. This is my favorite command. Okay, and if you want to know like who is the last user that login, then you can also use the last command. So that is also cool. And there are other commands in order to add user add group. You can check those out as well. The directory navigation I already covered, the SSH login I already covered, Let's see for the graph. Okay, great. So ll, let's create one folder, sudo mkdir, and let name it as core file as previously. Now we need to create. Now let's jump into the directory. Okay, ll, there is nothing on it. Now let's create few files. So we'll do sudo. Previously we created from touch. Now I'm using another method to do that. Sudo nano. Okay, then we find test1, test2, test3, test4, no, test5. Okay, we'll do control x, control x, control x, control x, control x. Because the issue with the nano command, if you are creating any directory, it will just simply open it. Okay, so that what it did it here. We'll type ll. Okay, so it did not mention anything. No issue. What we do that we use same command, but instead of nano we'll type touch and create log command. So the files, if we do ll, we have the file. Okay, now we'll go to the previous IT using cd dot as we previously discussed. Now let find a command. So we use the find. The location would be like, first of all let's find the current working directory pwd. It will be easy. Sorry, pwd, my bad. Now how we can find it? Sudo find. The location is like home and the background. You will know that. Otherwise, if you don't know that, you can also go with a random guess. Down name, let's search for test file. Okay, let's see. And great, it written this. Now let's do one more thing. Instead of home, let's suppose I don't know where the file is. Then we'll mention as slash and it find it. So that's how you can use a find command. There is another command is grep. Over the time you will also use this command, and this is also very useful command. Okay, now there's a file transfer command. There's a scp mv cp. Will see the ambient cp. scp is your homework. You need to do that and just tag me on the tutorial. Okay, now let's see. Go to the core file ll. Now let's copy test 5 to test 6, but we need to add sudo because we need admin privileges. If we do ll, then great, we created a copy of test 5. And now let's move this test 5 folder. Okay, pwd, sorry, test 6 file. Okay, so how to do that? Sudo mv test 6. Where we need to move it? We will move it to home background. Okay, now how we can list down or how we can check whether this file is there or not. So I will show you one more command. Okay, so how you can do that? This is a smart way. So we'll do ll, then home slash background, and here you have, there is the test 6. Now let's suppose you want to delete it, but you don't want to jump to the previous directory. Then you will do rm -rf. You want to delete it forcefully. Test 6. From where you'll find that command, home slash background. Great. Okay, asking for a permission denied. Why? Because I did not mention sudo. Done. Okay, now how we can verify it? From the same command, ll slash home where background. Okay, what happened? I did some mistake. Okay, let's see. cd dot dot cannot. Okay, okay, I missed something. Let's see. Okay, I deleted it. great. But with that, I also deleted the corp ID because there is some issue from my end, and I also did that. So that's the reason I deleted whole thing. No issue, no issue. Will again created it and will do that. So in Linux, you need to be very cautious because if you type a wrong command, the whole system will be break sometime. Okay, so be very cautious with that. So we also do that, and let run these commands. Okay, the system management info. So let's type date. It will return the current date, and let's type host name. It will let you know the host name of the machine. That is this great. If you want to see the uptime, you have that command. If you want to last reboot, it will show you the last reboot that happened for this machine. Okay, and my favorite one, who and I. It will show you the current user. Okay, now for the disk usage, there are few commands like df-h. You will do that. You will find all the information of the current drive status. Disk -l, but I'm not sure whether fdisk utility is there or not. And let me try sudo. Okay, fdisk utility is not this in system, but okay, I did a typo. Okay, fdisk utility is there. It is an also very good utility. You can use it, and the other utility you have is lsblk. You can also use that. Okay, and yeah, that's how you will use it. There are other commands, you can try it out for yourself. And now let for the process related. So this is also one of my important section. So we'll type top command. Top command is one of the popular commands. Like in Windows environment, we have the task manager, but in the Linux environment, we have something called top in order to check everything. From there, you can, if you want to delete some process, you can do everything from here. Okay. Over the time, you have more familiarity with this, and you can rock. Now let's out from that using Control C. Okay, now clear the screen. Clear. Great. Now for the file permission. Okay, let's create a folder. mkdir corp it. Okay, now let's jump into corp it, and let's create a folder mkdir uh, Manoj. Okay, okay. I did not. I forgot to add sudo. It happened a lot with me. Okay, ll. Okay, great. Manoj is there. We'll see the current directory. That is corp it. Okay, no issue. Now, if we type ll, what you will find here, this is the current permission of this file. Okay, if you want to change the permission of that file, how you can do that? So there is a command called chmod. So you will do sudo chmod and the permission that you want to give, 777 mean full permission to the file Manoj. If you want to again check whether the permission change or not, we'll do ll. Okay, if you want to do something else, let's suppose 544. Okay, and we'll do again ll, then the permission will change. Okay, that's how you do that. Now let's talk about the ownership in Linux. Let me just change. In Linux, by default, any file is having a user, and that users belong to some group. That is a by default rule of the Linux environment. So if we talk about the file name Manoj, it is belong to the root user and it is belong to root group. But let's suppose I want to change it to the Vagrant user. Don't want it to be with root. So how we can do that? We type sudo chown, then Vagrant colon, like the user is Vagrant and the group should be also Vagrant, and the file name is Manoj. Done. How we can verify it? Simple, long list. And if you can see here, we change the user. So that's how you will do the file permission. And there is another few things that we already discussed, like the long list. You can also do the ls will also helpful, but I still like long list because you will get the extra information. Okay, the MKDI we covered, touch we covered, and now see the networking things. IPADDR show. Great. You can list down all your adapters or all your network adapter. Okay. Now ifconfig, one of the command that you have to use it in order to find your IP. Okay. Now who is this packet that you need to install in order to work for it? From host, let type this host name hyphen I. It will return the IP. It's a very cool command if you want. Wget, if you want to download some file from the internet, you can use wget. In the upcoming video we'll use this. So this is all about this video. If you want to see more exciting such exciting content, you can stay tuned to Corp IT. And if you want to stay up to date with the IT content, you can check out our website corpit.org. You will find out the really amazing article over there. And you can also follow us over the Twitter and LinkedIn. And that's for now. Peace.